Our next guest today is Paul Taylor. Now, in 2017, he assumed the role of director of the Mayor's Office of Minority and Women-Owned Business. Paul, thank you so much for being a guest with us. Yeah, so, tell us a little bit about your role, because you're just advancing into this role, correct?
Yes. So over the last couple of years, I've been working at the Small Business Resource Center, really assisting small business to grow and to develop their businesses, access to information, access to resources. That role didn't stop, and we've continued that role now. What the mayor wanted to do as she came in, she wanted to create a much more streamlined service to small businesses, and so she asked us to combine not only the Small Business Resource Center but the Minority Business Office, and in addition to that, the Baltimore Main Streets, which deals with retail businesses around Baltimore City. So we've basically combined those resources under one office, and now as the director, I run those offices. And
you've been, I guess, pushing for more small and minority and women-owned businesses.
Right. Yeah. Well, in our local economy, it's small businesses that are hiring people. It's small businesses that are poised to grow. It's small businesses that are doing some of the services that hospitals need, our libraries need, our schools need. Those are small businesses that are providing those services. So we want to really grow those businesses so that they can increase their services to not only government but also to the business community.
And you talk about growing business. For those of us who are thinking about getting into business, it seems like it's a challenging thing to talk about.
Well, it's not an easy task, as any entrepreneur will tell you. So starting a small business, one of the things that we encourage people to do is to do a plan. Take what's in your head and put it on paper so that we can sort of map out where you're going to need resources, what kind of resources you're going to need, and then make sure that we can have those resources available to help you. So our office spent a lot of time working on things that we can do to help people grow. So we have classes in accounting, we have classes in business planning, we have classes in government purchasing, for instance. And all of those things are to provide small business with opportunities. I always recommend, yes, start with the business plan. Take what's in your head, put it on paper, and let's map it out, because we're going to start to see some of the challenges. I'm not going to say that it's going to be the panacea. It's not going to make everything go away, but it will provide you with the resources, the information that you'll need as you step through going through the business plan.
And talk about that resource center, because that's pretty big. It offers so many things to so many people.
Yes. So we've partnered with SCORE, which is the retired executives who provide that sort of first level, I want to start a business, I have this idea, where do I go from here? And SCORE will help them sort of map out those first couple of steps. We also have about 115 classes that we do on an annual basis. Those classes all are around business planning, around accounting, around government contracting. They're also included in fun classes like how do you sell more? How do you learn to sell? And so we've got classes like that. And a lot of people don't know, but at 1101 East 33rd Street, that center has a lot of good information, and it's all free. And so Baltimore City has committed itself to making sure that small businesses have an opportunity, have a place to go where they can get free resources to grow their business.
And like you said, the key word is free. So that should encourage so many more people.
I didn't say cheap, I said free. Just so you know.
Well, yeah, I mean, that will encourage more people to come in.
That's absolutely, absolutely. I mean, the commitment is really to take a small business from an idea. If they need to go and get their registration, register their business with the state of Maryland to become an LLC or a C corporation or S corporation, they can get information on how to do that right there at the Small Business Resource Center. If they want to get access to capital, we have resources that can help them get access to capital. So those are all the kinds of things that we have mapped out that small business need to touch to grow their business.
And when you talk about growing small business, we, of course, have so many young entrepreneurs that live in Baltimore City, and this could be something they could put on their plate, Talk to us about how you all are trying to stay engaged with the young people in Baltimore?
Well, we've figured out that we're not going to get to the young people by using a newspaper. And so we created a portal. It's called BaltimoreSourceLink.com. And that portal actually is a place where small business, any entrepreneur can go online and look at where resources are. They can ask the question, I need financing, I need to know how to register, I need to navigate the permitting process. All of those things are actually on our portal, which is the BaltimoreSourceLink.com, and they can find that information there. What we also have on there, which I think is very exciting, is we have a calendar, master calendar, not only of our events, but of the other 80 resource partners that are on that site. People can find that information that they may need to grow their business there.
Yeah, all right. Well, more to come, lots more questions to ask you because I'm interested as well, learning about LLCs and the like.
That's right.
But we'll be right back with more with Paul Taylor. Stay there. Welcome back to Game Changers with my guest today, Paul Taylor, Director of the Mayor's Office of Minority and Women-Owned Business. So before the break, we were talking about getting young people engaged because they're so glued to their cell phones and tablets and, the resource that you just mentioned to get them engaged. Is it easier or is it more difficult to focus on the younger generation or the older generation? Or does it matter?
The good thing is that the younger generation have the zeal and the energy. We just need to make sure we direct them so that they can get the proper resources. One of the things that we found, though, is that a lot of times, especially for older people who've been in the marketplace for some time, there may be some additional challenges, one of them being credit, for instance. And we sort of, we give people some tools that they can use in order to enhance their credit, but they first have to go and get a copy of their credit report. Get a copy, take a look at what's on there, and then let's think about some strategies on how we might be able to help you reduce that credit burden that you may have. We also have, but the good thing is that the older person may also have assets that they can use when they're going to leverage a loan. So there are pluses and minuses for each one of those. I'd say that I love the fact that because of the internet, because of YouTube, because of all of these new tools that have become available, there are more opportunities now for people to create a business and to run a business right from their bedroom. And if they can use the technology, they can probably create a business.
Yeah, and we have thousands of small minority and women-owned businesses right here in the city.
Absolutely. It's exciting. I don't know if you ever get a chance to go to some of our incubators and the Emerging Technology Center. There are incubators, the Foundry, and some of them. You'll see OpenWorks. You'll see all kinds of young people making things and doing things in Baltimore City that the maker community is alive and well in Baltimore. And so if you see a little logo that says Made in Baltimore,
yes,
it more than likely was in one of our maker spaces that people are creating some opportunities there.
Wow, that's amazing. Another topic is contracts. Mm-hmm. How challenging is that? Well,
contracts is not for the faint of heart. I think that people have to realize that in order to get a contract, first of all, the company that wants to hire you wants to make sure that you have the capacity and capability to perform the contract. But there's also the opportunity for us to help people to really take a look at the scope of services, look at the terms and conditions on the contract, and help them kind of manage that contract, because a lot of times people are so excited about getting their contracts, they may not read all the fine details and they get themselves in trouble. So we try to avoid that so that we really walk people through that. At the Resource Center, we also have a legal clinic where there are 2 attorneys that come in and they'll sit down for 45 minutes with clients during a day and really kind of walk through how those contracts look, where there may be pitfalls in them. So we created some resources that can help people with contracts.
Okay, so with all of the information that the Resource Center offers, is there a way to engage the community to get them out? Meaning, is there annual events that your office holds?
Yes, so thank you for that. We have our annual procurement fair that we do with all of the city agencies, for instance. We have another one coming up. We have a date, December September 18th that we're going to be doing with Congressman Cummings, and so those are the things that we're doing to really kind of engage the community in what contract opportunities might be available. The one with Congressman Cummings is really around infrastructure development and the opportunities that might be available there.
All right, so lots of great information, and people that we were talking before the show, and I said, yeah, I've been interested in getting an LLC, so very good information for those out there who want to start a business. When it comes to working in Baltimore, owning a business in Baltimore, how can we, after going through that process, making sure that that business survives? Is it just, having that constant contact with the Resource Center, making sure they stay on top of things?
It is, and in fact, we try to point people to where there's the best resource for them to go. So we understand that we might not be the everything to everybody, but what we've done with that portal that I mentioned earlier, that is the Baltimore Resource Link.com. What that does is it can help people in the different stages of their growth. So if they're at the pre-venture, or they're the startup, or they're now in the growth mode, we have resources in all of those areas for them, and so they can look at that resource guide. They can also come to the office, meet with one of our counselors, and really kind of map through what it takes to grow and develop that business.
All right, well, some great information. Thank you. And we want to thank all of our guests today. Mr. Paul Taylor, thank you so much, and Annie Milley for being our guest on Game Changer. Stay right there. We'll be right back.